My little runway of candles. I don't like a lot of lights. Lights suck. You're always first, because I tell you I'm doing it. You see? So you're always first. Always, always, always. We got a great show in store tonight, boys and girls. For all one of you that's watching. Here I come. Fee, fi, fo, fum. Here the fudge I come. What's up, everybody? The hardest worker in fucking show business. Dealing with a lot lately. But, you know, I almost didn't have this live feed tonight. I almost didn't. Something came up. An emergency of sorts. And I almost didn't make it. But I did. I did make it. And I'm here. And, you know, regards with the whole UFO thing, you know, I just want to change my page image, you know, more over to UFOs and disclosure of UFOs. You know, Nibiru, you know, part of me still believes in Nibiru, but, you know, it's not my true passion. It's not my dedication. My dedication is disclosure. My dedication is to get people, certain people, to admit truth and factual evidence, and all of it, for that matter. So I'm thinking of a name change for the channel. I haven't come up with any good names yet, but I'm hoping some of my subscribers might be able to help me out with that. With some good UFO-related names that I can use for the channel. You know, I want something that just pops, you know, that catches people's attention, catches people's eyes, and just pops. You know what I mean? And you can slowly see that, you know, for the most part, I'm slowly converting my page over to mostly UFO. There's been less chemtrail videos. There's been less, you know, Planet X type videos. And I'm moving away from that, and I want to focus on something I think is an achievable goal. I think it can be accomplished in time. It's going to be a long, tough, hard road to do so, but I believe firmly that it can be done. But people got to come together. You know, Rome wasn't built in a day, and people cannot do this on their own. I'm one person. You know, I'm not an army. I wish I was sometimes. As tough as I am, you know, I'm not that tough. I bleed red just like everybody else does. How's everybody going tonight? And since I have been converting my page over to more UFO stuff, you know, I've been putting up a lot of different abduction interviews and Bob Lazar interviews and John Lear interviews. I put up a 12-part interview he did with, I think it's George and Erie, or whatever his name is, from Coast to Coast. And some of the fucking shit that John Lear talks about in that interview is just mind-blowing. But it's true. It's freaking true. You know, and a lot of people say, no, that's bullshit. That guy's a loony. No, I don't think it is. And I'm going to tell you my theory on why Mr. John Lear is not a loony. And John Lear is about his business with factual stuff. He's not, you know, after Lazar came to him with all of his accounts of what had happened working on UFOs, and brought him out to see the test flights and things like that. After all that, John Lear's name started popping up in the UFO community, a lot more. And then a lot more whistleblowers, for some reason, started going to this guy. This guy was having people from different black op government projects all over, you name it, just stopping at his house because they wanted to tell him stuff, and they wanted to tell him that he wasn't crazy. Stuff is true, that we really are real re-engineering them, reversing them, engineering whatever, and different technology capabilities that are so seem so unfathomable, just so hard to picture that it could actually be so, but they have it. You know what I mean? And people use him as like a stepping stone. All the whistleblowers come to him. He's got a lot of great, credible information over the years. Has he got a lot of probably false information that he might have nipped in the bud, or maybe been fooled himself a few times? Probably, but nevertheless, he's had a lot of whistleblowers come to him through the years, in the 80s, the 90s, things like that. What's going on, Scott? I seen you called or something. I haven't had a chance to look at the phone. As soon as I got home we had a family emergency. As soon as I got home, I took the phone out, charged it up, and then just grabbed it and started the live feed. So I didn't have a chance to call you back. But yeah, John Lear, he's the hub. He's the hub, sort of say, and people bring him all the credible information, and a lot of this shit seems far-fetched. Like some of the shit John Lear talks about, soul harvesting, you hear that name alone, and you think this guy's got to be nuts. And callers were actually calling in telling him he's nuts, okay? But there's something with that. And I'm going to tell you why there's something with that. And in a kind of way, I have proof that, that might actually be going on. Now, Lear did say that, the president worked out an agreement with a certain alien race for technology on being able to fly their spacecrafts and stuff like that. And in exchange, we allowed the aliens to abduct a certain number of people in the world. I think it was 1 in 10 or something like that. I forget what the number was, but they were allowed to abduct a certain amount, and after a while, they had to give, the shadow government lists of all the people they abducted. Well, they exceeded the number they were only supposed to take. And when I say take, I don't mean take. They don't take you and eat you or nothing like that. They come down and they take you at 3 different points in your life. They come down and they take you, and it's probably roughly for about half hour to 45 minutes. You're gone. They put you back. No one even knows a thing. And they take you when you're 3. They take you when you're 7, and they take you when you're around 11 years old. Okay. Aliens. That's the deal they worked out with the president. Well, another alien race came in and said, well, we can get rid of the Greys, and they were like, well, can you offer us technology? And they said no, so the U.S. government never went through with that. Crazy shit, people. It's all crazy shit, but they come and see you when you're 3, 7, and 11, and supposedly when they put these recorders in you, and then when you die, your soul goes up to the moon, and in this ravine or something on the moon, there's supposedly this large cube. It's supposed to be like 7 miles wide or 7 miles high, and it's on these little fucking I forget what they're called, but tripods. They're on these tripods or whatever, and supposedly the soul, if you're one of the 10 people abducted, your soul goes up to the moon when you die for processing, and they take everything out of you that you've seen, that you've said, everything. They're recording everything. And then after they store that into their computers or whatever have you, then they send your soul back to here on down to Earth into another child or into another baby. And that's how you have reincarnation and everything. And that takes God right out of the picture, if you ask me, people. That's nuts. But supposedly that's going on. And not only that, Lear has, had whistleblowers come to him and tell him that Black cubes, man. Yeah, John, yeah, fuck yeah. Glad you're not getting throat banged today. Glad you can make it. But, yeah, fucking big ass black cubes, man. And this shit is, they're harvesting souls, is what they're doing. And that sounds like they're eating us, but they're not eating us. And I believe I'm one of the people picked. I believe I'm one of the 10. And I have proof that my son and that theory are probably true. Because at the age of 3 years old, my son developed the worst night terrors I have ever seen. Anything on the internet, anything. He was horrible. He would run around screaming, all the while being asleep, like he was running, scared to death of something, running in the walls, everything. 3 years old. When he turned 4, all that stopped. It was gone. No more night terrors. Then all of a sudden, when he was 7 years old again, bam, night terrors came back. Boom. Same thing, running around screaming, running into walls, like panicking, like he's being chased, not remembering why when you finally wake him up out of that trance. And then they went away again. Then they came back at the age of 11. Now, Lear said in this interview that they take you, when the aliens take you, you're around roughly around the ages of 3, 7, and 11. And that just so happens to be the only 3 years of my son's life he got night terrors. And I've seen other studies saying that night terrors and abductions go hand in hand, and night terrors have something to do with being abducted at some point in time. So, you do the math, but I think that's enough proof for me right there to believe John Lear and that whole theory. So, you know, John Lear, man, if you don't know anything about him, watch my videos. Watch the interview. Listen to him. The guy was a fucking pilot. His dad invented the Lear jet, for Christ's sakes. You know, the guy's a very credible person, and he's had very credible whistleblowers come to him since the 80s. You know what I mean? And he's even said that we have people on Mars. We have people on Venus. We have people on Mercury, Jupiter. And supposedly Venus is green and lush, like you would picture Earth. Okay? And people could walk around without any spacesuits or anything, but they don't tell you that. Because that would be tying into the whole disclosure thing and having to tell you about aliens and everything else. So they teach it to us that it's like molten rock and hot and volcanoes everywhere. And it's nothing like that. A caller actually came on the George Neary show with John Lear and said she sounded credible. I mean, she knew everything she needed to know as far as working for NASA. And she said she worked for NASA in 1979. She wanted to know if any of them heard of a story that happened on Mars or a situation that happened on Mars in 1979. And Lear was like, no, not that I heard of. And Neary said no too. And she said, well, we were watching the orbiter, the cameras. We were in charge of watching the cameras or whatever. And she said 2 human beings just came up over a ridgeline and started walking towards the orbiter. And they didn't have any kind of spacesuits on, no helmets or nothing. Then she said the feed got cut. She went to the main room and was able to see a little bit before they closed the doors on her, but seeing the guys walking up and can clearly see they were human beings, and they were walking right towards the orbiter. And John Lear said, yeah, they were going to clean off the lenses and shit, because that's what they do up there. But he said Mars, you can actually breathe the air after a 24-hour period of being like in captivity. They put you in some kind of isolation and do something in some machine to you or whatever. You could breathe that air or whatever. And supposedly you go on these planets and you see blue skies when you look in the sky, just like here on Earth. And they're teaching it all wrong to all of these kids all across the fucking world. They're teaching them that these planets are, so hot and volcanoes and molten rock and unlivable and nothing living. And that's not the case, people. We have been to Mars in that since the 60s, people. We got bases on the moon. We got bases on Mars. We got bases on Venus. We got bases on Jupiter. And we got bases on a base on Uranus, from what I've been told or what I heard. So, Pluto, I don't know. I didn't hear nothing about Pluto. But, and we certainly have the technology to fly out there. We have the reverse engineered, UFO downed aircraft that we figured out. And, we're flying all over the skies. They got them cloaking mechanisms now where I've seen it. I've seen planes chemtrailing totally just disappear right out of the sky right in front of my eyes. You know, I've seen other credible shows on TV where witnesses claim they've seen the same thing out by Dugway Proving Ground in Utah. So, I mean, come on, people. Let's stop posting shit about, nonsense, man. Let's get this disclosure that everybody wants. And I know I'm not alone. And even I know the trolls that are watching me, that ain't commenting. I know you guys even want disclosure too in some way, shape, or form. We all want it. And that's why I'm going to change the channel name. I'm trying to think of a cool name to change my channel to that's UFO related, because I'm slowly working my way into being a full-blown, all about disclosure, UFOs, aliens, 24/7. Unless something else comes up in the sky, whatever. I'll still talk about other stuff, but it's going to be mainly UFO stuff. And I want to change my name to a nice catchy name, something that pops and screams, click on my channel and want to watch these videos. And y'all can help me with that, actually. You know what I mean? You guys could spit some names out that you think would be cool names for a UFO-related channel. And, I might use them. Let's jump room. Thank you, Chris McGarrett, again, for saying that. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. Thank you. But John Lear, and this guy they think he's a quackpot. The government will tell you he's a quackpot. He's a storyteller. But the guy just states what other people tell him. It's not like he's the one creating the lies if they are lies, because other people are giving him this information to say, and he's saying it. And a lot is true. A lot of them are legit whistleblowers, you know what I mean? So, like I said, sure, the guy's probably got a couple bogus cases in his day, but he's got a lot of legit ones too. The Lazar was one of the legit. If it wasn't for Bob Lazar paving the way for us and being the first whistleblower to come out of S4, we wouldn't be halfway as close to disclosure as we were today. Then Dr. Dan Bursch would have never came out. Then other people like Lear, people, all these people wouldn't have came out. Bob Lazar basically set the ground in stone for us to want disclosure, and that's when everybody first started thinking, you know what? I'm not crazy, man. Maybe these things fucking do exist, and believe in a story. And I'm a believer. I'm a 100% believer. You can't knock me for that. But how about that shit? We have bases on Venus, Jupiter, and I guess we don't have the technology to fly there in, minutes. But it only takes like maybe a couple of days at the most to get to these places with the crafts that we have. And we have bases. We have people walking around on Mars with no fucking spacesuits on, breathing the air. How is that possible? These were two human beings. And this person was credible NASA, She knew things about the room no one else would have knew. You know what I mean? So, form your own conclusions. But UFOs do exist. They enter our atmosphere every fucking day, 24 hours a day. We are bombarded on. They are taking us for soul harvesting projects, okay? But they are not taking you when you're older. So all these older people saying they're getting abducted when they're older, I think that's a bunch of rubbish. But maybe it's not. Who knows? Because like I said, there's more than one alien race, and Lear even discusses that, how there's so many of them. And we still don't know about it. And, they laugh about it because they think it's the biggest and the easiest lie to tell to us. You know what I mean? Because they know it sounds so far-fetched to believe in something like that. So they know they can keep this lie going, forever unless there's a mass, sighting somewhere. And there will be. There will be soon. I believe, we don't really care for them. I believe they don't really care for us. I believe they care about this planet and they care about what we're doing to this planet. You know, and they care about us a little. They're curious and eager to know how we function and how we work and, you know, our emotions, and they want to study us. Same with all the other insects and animals here on Earth. You know, and we would do the same thing. If we got a hold of one of them, what's the first thing we would want to do? We'd want to gut him like a fish, and we'd want to get into his insides and find out what makes what this work, and all this stuff, and open his brain up, and, you know, try to figure that out. And, you know, when they should let the thing live, you know what I mean? But no, they want to kill it just to fucking dissect the thing. And, you know, good thing for us, they're not killing us. They're bringing us back in one piece. You know, we're just basically walking camcorders for aliens, basically. You know, they're sitting up there watching TV, but they're watching us. They're watching our lives. They can see our every movement we make, I bet. We probably have implants in our eyes and everything. Who the fuck knows? But if that was the case, they would know I was doing this right now. Would they be happy about that? Would they be mad about that? I don't know. Obviously, they're not too mad because I talk about UFOs all the fucking time. 1-2 Washington. What the fudge? I tried to share a link for Jump Room, but it's not working. That's alright, John. What is it, a page? Is it an actual page? What's on the page? What kind of content is on the page? Is it UFO related content, UFO related stuff, disclosure type stuff, conspiracies? How John F. Kennedy was assassinated? You know, all these gunmen on the grassy knoll. There was 4 gunmen on the grassy knoll. You want to know the damn truth? He had to go. He was told some information. He panicked, wanted to tell the people about it, wouldn't take no for an answer, therefore he had to go. The only other president they ever told that information to was Nixon, and that's only because he was vice president at the time, I believe. And they haven't told the president since. Nor will they. I will. I'll check it out. Jump Room. I'll check it after the live feed. Sure will. Been getting crazy chest pains. Crazy. Non-stop. Feels like someone's shocking me in the chest. Went to the hospital today. They said it was, I forget the name, Gerg or something like that. I don't know what they called it. Some kind of blockage of something. I don't know. Gave me a bunch of like gas type related pills. Told me to drink some kind of yogurt. Stop smoking, which I'm doing on January 1st, by the way. No more smoking on January 1st. Clean and serene all the way. Straight edges be. Any of you guys like John Lear? I like the guy. I think he's what makes me think, they say these planets and stars are thousands of light years away from us and we can't reach them. Well, biggest stars. Oh, they can reach them. They've probably been to them all. They can reach them. They have the crafts. Those TR, whatever the fuck they are, those triangled ones. 80 to 90% of them that you see, you mostly see them near fucking, bases. But, 80 to 90% of those that you see are our own. They're ran by the government. Those things can get to planets, days, from what I heard, is like the longest it takes, is days. They can get to the moon pretty damn fast in only minutes, I think. So that ain't too shabby. You got a vehicle that can do that. You can explore other solar systems. You have the technology to do this now. And they've been dicking around with it since the 60s. So supposedly since 66 or whatever, the space program actually started, because that's when it actually did start. You know what I mean? And look at those astronauts that were killed. They said there was 3 of them, but there was 4 on there, but they never said anything about the 4th guy, because he was in it. He was in their special program, and if they talked about him, then they would have to say who he was and where he was from, and they didn't want to do that. So they left the 4th guy out of the fire, the space shuttle fire, or whatever, Apollo fire. I don't know what it was, but They're corrupt, and they'll stop at nothing to keep their secret secret. I don't, and I'm mad about it, but I'm not like, just tell us, they're real and they exist and where you think they're from. That's all. You tell us that and I'll be happy. You don't have to tell me about, well, I would like to know all the secret technologies and shit. But you don't have to. Give us something. Give us something. Okay, they're real. We did have a UFO. There was a couple of bodies. Tell us something. We believe they're from this galaxy and this star cluster. That's all you have to say. You know what I mean? Because then you get your disclosure. Both sides will be happy, I think. The UFO people will be happy. Sure, they'll be hungry for more, but they'll be happy because they've been fighting for this for so long. So both sides will get a win out of that. It's equal ground for both parties, and I don't know why they can't come to grips and come to terms with that. I should sit them all down, both parties at the table, and, work out a disclosure deal. That's what I should do. So anybody out there watching that's from the government, just look me up. I'm on YouTube, and that's about it. But hashtag underscore Nibiru Freedom Fighter .net I don't know, something like that. UFOs, though, I still haven't seen any. I still have not seen any. It's been a few weeks now. I think I seen something in the sky, like 4 or 5 days ago, but I can't say that was a UFO. I don't know what the fuck that was. I've never seen it. Could have been the moon for all I know, behind the clouds. I didn't stick around long enough to find out what it was. But I haven't seen much action in the skies at all, and that's why, I want to get away from the Nibiru thing a little more, because don't get me wrong, I still believe that there is a planet out there that has the capabilities of doing that and coming into our solar system and what have you. And I do believe more earthquakes are on the way, people. I believe, the week leading up to Christmas, around the 21st, 20th, 21st, 22nd, which is only in another 5, 6, 7 days from now, I believe there's going to be some big earthquakes. Maybe not too big, but there's going to be earthquakes in areas that generally don't get earthquakes, like Tennessee. Tennessee just had an earthquake not that long ago, people. I think it was like four days ago or something like that. Tennessee hasn't had one since like the 60s. They got one. We had one back in the 90s. I'm waiting for our fault line to go off again, and I'm thinking maybe it will. It's a good time, as long as you don't die and everything. You shake around a little bit. It's pretty fun. It's like being put inside a giant snow globe. Based off a jump room for the most part. Really, Stargate. Them are the ones that do all the interviews with all these people, ain't it? Like Stargate Productions or something. They do all the interviews with all these fucking whistleblowers and shit. Definitely. What's a good name for my fucking page, man? Come on, guys. A couple of you out there gotta have some decent names for me. I want to get rid of this Nibiru Freedom Fighter name. It's been hanging over my head way too long. It's time to clean it up. Strictly UFOs for the most part. And put my full heart and soul into that. Where I can just research that. And I don't have to research other things, Because before I'm looking at chemtrail things. I'm looking at, weather things, geoengineering the weather. I got my mind in so different areas, it's hard to keep up with everything, and I'm not focusing on one task. And the biggest task should be UFO disclosure, because I think that's the biggest one for us, you know what I mean, as the human race. I believe we need to know that. I believe we deserve to know that. Who are they to say we don't want these people knowing about these people? It's not really their choice, you know what I mean? They don't control us like that. So you can't control our opinions and things like that. The government can't do that. So what they're doing is bullshit. Like I said, they need to sit down at the table, give us some tidbits, but don't give us all of it. And I think both sides will be happy for the most part. Then you can go on living, with that story for the next 30, 40, 50 years till you got to maybe put out a little more information. And by then, we're so technologically advanced, it won't matter anyways. So the thing that gets me is about these planets like Venus, and John Lear supposedly has, proof that Venus is green. It's luscious green. There's trees everywhere. It's like Earth greener, supposedly. So if there's green, there's water. And they don't tell us these things, you know what I mean? They fake everything. They fake pictures sent back, for the most part. They do a lot of editing, different visual effects, cover shit up. They're very good at what they do, and they're very good at silencing people. And, well, the government has since Bob Lazar, they came up with this serum, okay? And Bob Lazar talked a little bit about it. He said, in his final days of working at S4, um, the only thing he could remember about going to work was going to the airport. He remembered getting on the plane. Then he remembered getting off the plane. But he does not remember what happened from the time he got on that plane to the time he got off that plane. So they must have been giving him some kind of serum, something their scientists concocted, the government came up with, and it erases your memory for a certain period of time. And that's it. Just that little bit of time, your memory gets erased. I don't know what the hell. Maybe they gave him roofies, for all I know. But, you know, with the whistleblowers, the people that work at these facilities now, they don't know what they do because they don't remember nothing when they come out. And it's all compartmentalized. Get what I'm saying? It's all compartmentalized where, they tell this compartment a little bit. They tell this compartment a little bit, but they don't tell this compartment stuff. That way, you can't have a full story coming out from a whistleblower. Plus, they give them serums, that knock out their memory now, so these guys don't even remember what they did anyways. So it's not like they can come and say, oh, yeah, we got UFOs. So any whistleblowers coming out now, unless it's an elite whistleblower, like, a general or something like, then it's got to be a hoax. It's got to be fake. Because after the 90s, early 90s, for the most part, I'm sure they were doing that with all their employees after Bob Lazar opened up the can of worms for everybody. So, but Bob Lazar is an incredible man. John Lear is an incredible man. These are all great men of America, and others would say they're just fucking idiots and crackpots. But, it's guys like that are my heroes, you know what I mean? Because they fought for disclosure. And they continue to fight for disclosure. Lazar just dropped his movie. Lear, I don't know what Lear's been doing lately. I don't even know if he's still alive, but for the most part, not that long ago, he was still doing interviews in 2017, I think. So these guys, they only want to help us. They want what we want. And yeah, they experienced a little more of what was going on. Disclosure fighter, yeah, I like it. I like the disclosure part, but fighter, that's still like Nibiru freedom fighter. I want to get away from all that together. No freedom, no Nibiru, or no fighter in the name. Think about it. I'm not gonna go in a frenzy and change it tonight, but within the next week or two, I want to change it. So, think long and hard about it. My comment section's always open. You always can just drop a comment, and if I like it, I'll use it. Shit, I'll fucking use it. But it's gotta be cheap. It's gotta pop. It's gotta be like big pink neon signs flashing at you. It's gotta catch everybody's attention. Thank you, John. Thank you. That'll be sweet. But it's got to keep everybody's attention. Because this is all I'm going to talk about. All I'm going to do is watch UFO interviews, abduction interviews, whistleblower interviews. We're going to talk about all the stuff they're talking about. And, Reagan. Reagan was another one, man. JFK assassinated for, wanting to tell the people, panicking and saying, the people got to know. So he had to go. Marilyn got caught up in it because he told her some stuff. And, she had enough popularity that if she would have blew the whistle, a lot of people would have believed her because this, she was an icon in TV and everything. So they would have believed her, so she had to go. Reagan, he started getting nosy and nosing around and coming up with some tidbits and talking to whistleblowers and things. and different governments and what have you. And he started threatening. He started leaving remarks and speeches about going to war with aliens and space and things like that. And look how many times they attempted to take his life. They were very sloppy on the job. They probably got some poor schmuck, some disgruntled Marine or something, whatever. But they did a poor job of that one. That's for sure. Because he did die, but he didn't die from a gunshot. He wasn't killed during an assassination. He was shot several times, I believe, on different occasions. Getting out of cars, everything. Pow, pow, pow. They tried to take that boy's head off for knowing too much. And I believe Clinton, when he poked into it, they said, listen, guy, and I heard a true story. Well, I don't know if it's true, but I heard a story that when Clinton did do what he said he was going to do, he stuck his nose in and wanted to know some info. And from the story that I heard is that they told him, and yeah, we'll tell you the story, but you know what happens to people who know the story, like JFK or whatever. Basically threatening him without threatening him. Just saying, you know what happens to people who know the story, like JFK or something. They told him, and it made him shit in his pants, and he never brought it up since. But he told the public he looked into it, didn't find nothing, blah, 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 blah. They're trained to say that shit, you know what I mean? But the truth is, they don't really fill the presidents in on what's going on. So Trump has no idea either. But Trump supposedly called David Wilcock, I guess. Trump called David Wilcock from what David Wilcock says. But wanting to know if all his stories were true, and he wanted him to tell him about some of the technology and shit like that. So I think Trump is aware of what's going on, and he's starting to believe maybe there could be something. But I don't think they're telling him anything. The government, I don't believe they're telling him anything. I believe they're lying to him also, and I believe he's starting to get real pissed off with that. And I believe eventually he's going to get too hot-headed, and he's going to say, motherfucker, this is my country. I don't give a fuck you're the shadow government or not. I want to know what's going on. He's going to demand it, and they might have to make a move on him. Who knows? That's if he takes it to that level. He might not. He might not, people. But we need more gutsy presidents. We need more people with balls that want to tell the people. You know what I mean? We need a president, because here's what happens. A president threatens to go public with the information. They kill him. Don't threaten to go public with it. Pretend to be on the team the whole time. Like, yeah, we won't say anything about this. And then all of a sudden, call a news channel and just have them sneak to the White House or something like that at nighttime. You know what I mean? And bring a camera in and do a special interview and just tell the public there. You know what I mean? That about all the shit you know. That way, once you told them, they can't kill you now, because if you're killed, then they know they had something to do with it. That would be the smart thing to do if you were president. I'm talking to you, Trump. Okay? Pretend like you're in on their agenda. You just want to see what's going on, but keep your mouth shut. And then secretly bring a news channel in and bam, drop us with that bombshell. Preferably on NBC, if you may. The Forbidden Zone. What's that? A name for a channel? The Forbidden Zone? I like it. I like it. I don't know if I like it enough to use as a channel name, but I definitely like it. Forbidden Zone. I want something with a little more UFO related in it. Like the word disclosure in it, or UFO or alien something. You know? We gotta come up with something fucking good here.
Forbidden disclosure.
Forbidden disclosure. My wife just said forbidden disclosure. Red, white, and disclosure. That's a pretty good one, actually. Red, white, and disclosure. Like America, they're the ones keeping the lie, the secret, red, white, and blue, red, white, and disclosure. That's pretty good. That's catchy. I actually like that one. I have to put that one on the list. I like my wife's too. I gotta put that on the list of possible names. What's going on, our skies? What's going on, my brother? How you doing this fine evening? Just trying to come up with names here for my page. Switching over to more of a UFO related channel. And just trying to think of a catchy name that's got like disclosure in it or the word UFO in it or something, you know. That's going to catch people's attention. So, you just uploaded today? Oh, wow. I'll check it out after the live feed. I'll go on over and check it out. Oh, I definitely will, Sky. Definitely will. Definitely will. Man, but this shit, I knew there was something weird with Venus and Jupiter. You know how they all of a sudden now they just light up and they're the biggest, brightest stars in the sky all of a sudden. But when you were a kid, they never lit up that bright. But now all of a sudden they're the brightest stars in the sky for how many months out of the year? Jupiter and Venus. I knew something was going on then. You know, and supposedly we have, from what I heard, we on Mars alone we had something like 300 million or 600 million people on Mars already. And Venus had like 300, I don't know, 300,000 or something like that. That's nuts, people. That's nuts. And you know, their electricity bill, they got to create lights, right? Maybe that's why they're lit up more. Maybe Earth looks lit up on when you're on those planets because of all the electricity and shit here we got going. So you never know. Could be a theory. I don't know. Let's run with it. But one night during the summer, I actually witnessed a UFO fly Jupiter's orbit with my binoculars. And then I watched it fly back in to Jupiter and disappear. And then a couple months later, I seen a UFO start over by Jupiter in the sky and then shoot across the sky like a shooting star. And then as soon as it hit Jupiter or Venus, where you seen the Venus star, poof, it was gone. It was like it flew to Venus and on Venus. That was probably us flying from base to base. You know, they might have needed some medical supplies or something. I mean, what the fuck? But it also could have been extraterrestrials because they're up there too. How do you think we got this technology? We didn't just come up with this technology ourselves to build these fucking large triangular fucking spacecrafts. No, the fuck we didn't. We got them from crashed UFOs, and we got them from alien races working out a deal, I believe, with Eisenhower or Truman. One of those presidents, I forget which one it was, worked out a deal and actually sat in a room with the extraterrestrials and talked about it and said, as long as you give us technology to be able to fly these kind of spacecrafts and get to space, then we will let you abduct a certain number of people from, you know, the world. And I guess it was 1 in 10 people or something like that. They were allowed to. That's a shit ton of people, but 1 in 10 people. But supposedly the alien race did not live up to their end of the bargain, and they started abducting more people than they said they were, because every few months they had to, I guess, give them a list of the people that they took to run these tests on and stuff. And they kept exceeding the number of that the government wanted them to, so they were basically breaking the deal. And another alien race came to the government and told our president that they could actually kill the Greys off for us, and the president never did it. But I'm also hearing that the Greys ain't even really an alien species. They're just little robotic type drones and entities that all the other aliens use to go do their research and their dirty work and stuff like that. And then they bring the data back to the real aliens that are on their planet or on a chevron somewhere around floating in space somewhere. You know, for the most part, we get along with all these races right now, I believe. I don't believe there's any hostility right now as far as wanting to go to war. They don't want to harm us, but they, you know, they also don't want to see harm to this earth. They don't want us destroying this earth. And, you know, the proof there is how they, you know, they dismantle nuclear weapons at our facilities. You know, they come over top of our facilities and dismantle all our nuclear weapons and render them useless. They fucking, they've been seen in the sky taking away the chemtrails, like having an eraser and erasing it out of the fucking sky. You know, so they want to see good things for this planet. Depopulation, well, it's going to come very fast, our skies, because every day they're thinking of more diabolical schemes that they could come up with to thin the herd, sort of say, if you catch my drift. We know they're fucking with the weather. They just made it rain so much in China or whatever, and they did that. And they're fucking with the weather now, and they can actually basically make hurricanes and things like that. So they're gonna start ramping up more natural disasters, and they're gonna be man-made. And they're gonna kill people. They're gonna kill probably hundreds of people in the near future and things like that. But it's gonna be all over, and it's gonna start getting depopulated little by little till the herd is thinned out. I believe that's their plan. Do they want total annihilation of us and just for the elite to survive? I don't think they do. And the reason I say that is because they need us, people. They need us because building all those spacecrafts and having, it costs money to get the materials and build all this stuff, right? And they're generating that by having war, by controlling the pharmaceutical companies, by controlling, a lot of different things. The oil business, the gas business. So they need our money to keep, making this stuff and coming up with these space vehicles and things like that. So, they're not going to want to kill us all because they still need people, to go to work every day and pay their, pump their car full of gas. They still need that. They still need people to put cancers in so they can fucking go and have to buy a shit ton of pills, and fill their pockets that way, In the long run, they're always getting paid. But if they kill us all off, then the money game stops. Then they can't create all this other stuff. Then, so that's why I don't think they're going to do a mass big one. They want to wipe out a shit ton of people, yes, but they want enough people left so where they still make a decent amount off the gas and the prescription pills and things. That's just my opinion. Might not be yours. Might not be your cup of tea, but that's just my opinion. That's what AI is for. They don't need us. They don't need them. Yep. I hope so, man. I hope they get paid back by somebody, the elitists, our guys. I hope somebody, they deserve it. They've harmed a lot of people over the years, killed a lot of people, brainwashed a lot of people, screwed a lot of people up, scared a lot of people half to death. The list goes on and on. So, we are the sheeple.
I feel funny.
You feel funny? In what way, babe?
Huh?
In what way?
Almost like it feels like I'm gonna have an episode.
Why don't you go lay down? Catch you if you fall.
I'm dying.
I'm gonna die, man. I'm gonna die, man. I'm dying before you. Trust and believe. Lay down. We're back, people. We're back. No, it's not over. Not over. Not over. Just had to go. My wife isn't feeling very well, so I had to go, walk her to bed and make sure she got down in the bed okay and is safe, snug as a bug. Snug as a bug, people. Matter of fact, I got to get a list. I got to write those names down for a new page. Alright, let's go. Now, what was the name of that page? Where did, was it Chris? Well, thank you, John. I appreciate that. We still don't really know much yet. She's got to go see the specialist, so we really don't know, what could happen or what's going to happen yet. So it's really, we're really in a rough place right now. Where it's just constant worry, constant praying. What was the name of that page? Hey, McGarrigan, what was the name of that page you gave? The Forbidden Zone, right? Is that the one, or did John give the good one that I liked? John gave one I liked. What was that? Red, White, and Disclosure, right? White and Disclosure. Thank you, John. You did say Red, White, and Disclosure, correct, John? Then the Forbidden Zone. Which one did my wife say? Babe, what was the name? I don't know if she's still watching or if she's laying down or what. I had a scare today. I was getting massive chest pains. So I went into the hospital because I've been getting chest pains every day for like the last year and a half. But they come and they go. Now, for the past 3 days, they've been consistent. Non-stop. Feels like someone's shocking me in the chest. Forbidden Disclosure. That was it. Forbidden Disclosure. The UFO Report 2020. 2019. No, because them years will come and pass, so I can't put a year on it. Go with the Mrs. X Forbidden Disclosure? I might. This is a week or two process here, people. So I fully convert into UFOs all the time and fighting for disclosure of UFOs. And we'll continue to talk about the assassinations of JFK and taking the blinders off of people and telling people the truth that what they're teaching these kids about these planets and our solar systems is 5% truth. Like the trajectories and things like that of these planets, those are all true. But basically everything else is just a lie. So they're teaching our kids lies from early ages, basically brainwashing them in a sense from an early age to teach us that this is this way. That's a Mandela effect, is it not? And they're very big with their Mandela effects. They like the real big Mandela effects where they get large numbers of people to fucking be brainwashed basically. But I'm not one of their sheeple. I keep fighting out of that packed room, and I find a window to jump out of, and I get out of there. And, I'm back on UFO disclosure, 100%. Only thing that's going to stop it is a bullet. You got to take one for the team sometimes, though, you know what I mean? Because then people start looking at my death like, oh shit, they killed him because he was talking way too much. See what I mean? Opens up another can of worms towards disclosure. So, your name change also? You can keep your name the same. You don't have to change a bit. Where'd John go to get throat banged? John, you getting throat banged again? Some other good names for the channel would be disclosure. Something with disclosure in it. We already got red, white, and disclosure. I need some more disclosure things. No. Something of the skies. Something, something, something. Oh, man, this is a tough one. I should Google cool names for a UFO page. Don't give me ones that there already are. Then I'll be stealing someone's name. Extra disclosing the skies. DTS. DTS. Disclosing the skies. I like that one. We'll call it DTS for short. Disclosing the skies. Oh yeah. That's a good one. But how would I write it? That would be the question. I'll figure it out. We got another week or so. Ice skating started back up. I can't wait. I'm going to start going ice skating again all the fucking time now. Getting back to my church, my sanctuary. Breathing in that crisp, fresh, icy air. Oh, I love it. That's my church, people. Any rink in America, anywhere, anytime, any place, I'm in heaven. That's my church. It's where I feel free. I get all those, old memories of my childhood that come back, flooding my brain. Getting the endorphins just flying through the roof. And I love it. I can't get enough of it. I am skating whether you like it or not. You got it? Yeah, but you're going to have to hold the boards. Or go with one of those walker things. Can't have you passing out on the ice, babe. You can crack your head open and seriously hurt yourself. I mean, I'll skate around with you for a while. Hold your hand and whatnot. But I like doing my thing. Eichel score 2-2. All right, Sabres. I'm missing the game for this, people. And I'm a diehard Sabres fan, so this is dedication. I'm putting my disclosure for UFOs and all things related ahead of my diehard Buffalo Sabres game, which is 2-2. So it's a nail-biter, like it always is. They're playing the Capitals tonight. Ovechkin, that little rat bastard. Speaking of rat bastards, no, I won't go into that. Chris me to what? LOL, Chris me 2 bits. I am learning. Christ me a bit. Oh, I can't do skating. I think I can end up my ass on that skating. Well, yeah, you do at first. It's hard. A lot of people think because they can roller skate or rollerblade that they're going to be able to ice skate, and it's not the same fucking thing. It's just not. People could try to compare it, but it's not the same fucking thing. It's like the difference between day and night. first started skating back when I was younger, shit, I fell on my ass hundreds of times. I can remember countless times. You know, what's that bone in your middle of your butt? It's like the certain name of a bone that's like right down your back, at the bottom of your back by your butt, like at the end of your spine. I used to hurt that thing all the time. Get caught in a groove in the ice, stop it, and boom, fall right back on your ass. Yeah, the coccyx, that's it. Or is that the one in your chest? Tailbone. Tailbone. I think it's the tailbone. I think the coccyx is the one right in the middle of your chest. Well, it's been another great live feed here tonight. I must say, we touched a lot of shit. Talked about a lot of far out there shit. Soul harvesting. Abducting 1 in 10 Americans. And their bodies, when they die, their souls go straight from Earth. That's what they catch on camera. Sometimes people in the night, in the cams, like the weather cams and stuff at night, they see those lights. Like, I think Cone caught one not that long ago where it was past the camera shooting up. I believe those are souls leaving. Those are people dying that were part of the program. And their souls are going to the moon, to that giant black cube in the middle of that ravine. And what they're going to do is they're going to take all the data out of that soul so that they can on their computer files or whatever, so they can see everything you did in your life, every decision you made, every emotion you made, every feeling, you know, everything. And then what they do is they, after they're done with your soul up there, is they basically send your soul right back down to Earth. And you see that on cameras, people coming back down too all the time, into babies and being born, and wham, there you are. Your soul's in a baby and you're reborn again. And a lot of people, you know, say and believe in reincarnation, and there you go. You know, that's reincarnation for you right there. But not everybody's guaranteed to be reincarnated. Only 1 in 10 people. Are you guys one of those people? I believe I am. I know my son is, for a fact. I know my son is. My son's a UFO magnet too. But me, I think I'm definitely 1 of the 10. That'd be pretty cool. But I hope when they come back, they put me in a nice rich family, like the Trump family or something. You know, put me in a nice rich family so I could be born with a silver spoon in my mouth for once and have everything handed to me and not have to work a day in my life. That'd be great. Just one time, one of these lives there, aliens up there. Can you guys help me out with that in my next life? That's all I ask. Send me to a more better off, you know, family. That's all I ask. Unidentified flying disclosures. Unidentified flying disclosure. UFD. UFD. Unidentified flying disclosure. The Disclosure Project, they already got names of that. Oh, fuck. UFO. Everything UFO. All UFO, all the time. That's what I'll name the channel. All UFO, all the time. And what I'm going to start doing is I'm going to start looking for, you know, videos of UFO sightings. And I'm going to start uploading them to my page as well. You know, every time a new sighting or something comes out, you know, I'll keep checking every couple of days for sightings, and I'll upload them here on the channel. You guys can judge for yourself. Does it look real? Does it look hoaxed? And, you know, and then we can discuss it in the comment sections and have healthy debates. That's what it's all about, people. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, man. WWW. And what does that stand for? World Wide Web wins. great. How are you guys? What's up, G4? www. Just trying to think of a new name here, G4. More UFO related, something catchy, something that pops. Getting rid of the old Nibiru freedom fighter name once and for all, and going in a different direction here. My heart's with disclosure, and I'm gonna jump on the UFO bus and fight for disclosure. Air out all the truths, talk about the stuff they don't want them talking about, like the fact that JFK was assassinated, and who did it, and things like that, and why they did it. UFOlogical. Oh, I like that one. That's a good one. That's not a name already, is it? I don't want to take a name of somebody who's already got it. That's a good one. I like that one. UFOlogical. All right. That's a good one. That is nice. I like that one too, John. That is nice. That is nice. I don't know. You're in the running for the top one. It's between you and my wife so far. No, there's 3 in the running here. The red, white, and disclosure. I still like the red, white, and disclosure, and I still like the what the one my wife say, the forbidden disclosure. Ufological. These are some good names. Keep spitting them out, people. I'm gonna make a list. How do you want it? PayPal, LOL. What? That's $5, please, for the name. Yeah, just put it on my tab, G4. I'll pay it at the end of the year. Yeah, I'll tell you what. After all the doctors and stuff get paid, and the bill collectors that I owe money to, then I promise you, you're next in line, right after them guys. So what do you think, G4? Do you think there's bases on Venus, Mars, Jupiter? Do you think that you're able to walk around on Mars without a spacesuit, without a helmet on, like John Lear and so many people are saying, and NASA people saying they seen people walking towards the fucking orbiter with no, what's your beliefs on that? You're at the other end sometimes on a lot of topics that I believe in, so I wanted to get your opinion on that, and see what you thought about all the madness. Is Venus green and lush and filled with plants like Lear and them say it is? Do we have so many people already up there? I think so. I think we do. Can't walk on Mars without a suit, but I can't imagine a galaxy without other beings. And there you go. With that being said, form your own conclusions. But I'm a believer that Venus is green and it's not all volcanoes and hot molten rock like they say it is and are teaching our students. More lies. Brainwash the kids when they're young. You got to catch them when they're young, because they're set to believe. Well, the government says it's this way, so it's this way. MK Ultra at its best. Oh, but yeah. What can you do? Can you fight it? What are you going to say? What they're teaching our kids is false? They'll just say, prove it. And we can't prove it. I can't prove it. So I'll just get looked at like a fucking quackpot. I believe in UFOs, but I think people push bullshit too. Discriminate. Oh, yeah, of course. I don't believe, like I said, half the shit I see, I do not believe. But there's a lot of credible shit that I do believe actually happened. And I believe a lot of these stories, like Bob Lazar. I believe these stories. You know what I mean? But sure, for sure, there's a lot of stories out there that are just bullshit. And, I do believe that, 80% of UFOs that are spotted or seen by people are ones that are operated by us. And the other 10 and 20 might be actually, the alien races coming to do their abductions for their um, soul harvesting program that takes place right up on our lovely moon that you see up there. And from what I heard, there's blue skies over all these planets, like fucking Venus and shit has blue skies. From what I heard, the moon has blue skies above it. This is just what they're saying. It's kind of hard to believe, but I believe in a lot of other shit they said. Definitely Lazar. I mean, then you have fucking Burrish. Came out after Lazar, also claimed to work for S4. He's a microbiologist helping alien race with their proton skin problems or whatever because they're all dying off as a race and they're trying to come up with a cure for their, supposedly they secrete too much, I don't know if it's protein or lack of protein or something, and they're dying of it. And we were working with them in exchange for technology and trying to help them solve their problem to save their species. Pretty far out there stuff, but some of it's believable and some of it ain't. Dan Burrish, I don't know whether to believe that guy or not. Bob Lazar, I believe 100%. I believe that guy worked where he said he worked. I believe he saw what he saw. And Burrish, I don't know. And that could be made up, but people like John Lear and stuff, said he's credible. Said he did work there. You know what I mean? So who knows? Who knows? But all this stuff, if it is real, is pushing us towards disclosure. And we need more things like this. We need more people to come forward. We need more whistleblowers. But unfortunately, what they started doing to Bob Lazar is they started erasing his memory. And the only thing he can remember is in his last days were getting on the plane and getting off the plane, but he couldn't remember what he had did while being at the base. So I'm sure they do it to all their employees now. And like I said, it's compartmentalized or whatever. I don't know how to say the word. Compartmentalized or whatever, where they only give this group certain details, this group certain details, and this group's not allowed to interact with this group. Therefore, they never have the full story that they could provide if they were to whistleblow. Plus, they erase their memories, so it's harder for whistleblowers to get out. So we need a mass sighting. We need more people to do UFO summonings. We need more people to try to lure UFOs here. Fucking make some crop circles in your yard. Do something to try to get their attention to want to land and come down so you can get them on tape. This is what we need to be doing in our backyards across America, people. We need to be putting fucking corn fucking crop circles in our fucking yards as landing strips of UFOs saying, come down here. And go out, do a summoning. Learn how to do it and then go do it. Coax them down. Get the photos you need and get the proof we so desire, and let's keep it moving. Yeah, we can. You heard of a place called Jordal Bank? It's a huge radio telescope around 7 miles from me. No, never heard of it. What state? Or are you in this country? I forget where you said you were from. What state are you in? Or what country are you in? Canada? Oh, the UK. The UK. No, I never heard of it. It sounds very interesting. It sounds weird. It sounds intriguing. Man, I've been on for an hour and 15 minutes. We got to get something to eat. It's getting late here. It's almost 8:30. I'm getting kind of hungry. I'm getting kind of worn down and having a lot of chest pains, today. So we got to keep it moving. But this has been a wonderful live feed, a great live feed. Thank you for the suggestions for the pages. Keep coming up with the names for the pages, people, and drop them in my comment sections. I'll get them all, and I'm going to write them in this book, and then I'm going to pick one that I like the best. And I'm going to change the name. No more Nibiru Freedom Fighter. We're going to be All Things UFO. Maybe I should just change the name to that. All Things UFO. I kind of like that. All Things UFO. The ATU. The ATU. All Things UFO. It's another good one. But yeah, keep giving me those names in the comments, and I'll keep writing them in the book. Thank you guys for keeping it clean tonight. Thank you, John, for not getting throat banged during the live feed. I really appreciate that. Much respect. I was just saying they have one here. It's behind the Sydney's in real 5 word don't males help each other spray out. Really. Well, thank you everybody. You know, like I said, it was a great live feed. Kept it clean, kept it legit, kept it positive. Talked about healthy topics, discussions, got people's opinions, other people's opinions, and that's what I want to keep doing here. And that's the hopes for the live feeds. I want to, get closer to disclosure one step at a time. And if we can if my page can grow a little bit and maybe we can push disclosure just a smidge or a centimeter towards disclosure more, we might be the difference. So you never know. So we got to keep doing what we're doing. And right now, I think the biggest priority here on Earth, besides prepping for a natural disaster like an asteroid or something, because that's very real and can happen too. But I believe it's the UFO thing. We need to know, in case something is to pop off with an alien race. At least we'd be forewarned and know, the details. We need disclosure as a country, as a world, as a planet, as a race. The people deserve to know about it. It's who are they to say that we can't know about this? That's bullshit. We have the right to freedom here in this country, hence freedom fighter. And I want to live free, and I want to know that type of information, and I want to get them to stop withholding that information. And let's move them closer. Let's get them there towards disclosure, people. Thank you for stopping by. Great live feed. Thanks to everybody who stopped out. Peace and love. I'll see you on the flip side. Another live feed coming up in a couple days. Don't know when. I'll let you know that day. Earlier in the day, I'll do a channel update. But thank you guys. Peace and love. Y'all be safe.